The setting of Disco Elysium is amazing. You have the sense of this greater world. Everything is incredibly detailed, and there is as much history as you can possibly be interested in diving into, and it's all really well considered. I especially love the technology of this world that, to me, kind of feels like the creators of this place just had so much fun with tracing back to the beginning of history in this alternate universe and going through like all the major inventions and like innovations through the world and seeing what would happen if these things were discovered in a slightly different way. Like, what would happen if no one figured out how to create an image with a camera in quite the same way we do now, but they figured out a different way of capturing an image by like breaking an ampule in some weird way. And then what technology would naturally flow from that, and like what would that look like 100 years down the line, and just stuff like that. Like it's all so closely related to our world. Like, there's all this technology that accomplishes roughly the same function as the analogs in our real world, but it goes about it in a completely different way. Like I mentioned, the cameras and how those work differently, and the guns that you carry or don't carry because you're a fuck up and lost them, but they work differently than our guns. And like, your partner is a big gearhead, which you can kind of find out if you poke at him, and he loves his car, and the cars just function on a completely different set of logic than ours do, while still being, you know, kind of vaguely related to it, and like the way their computer systems and radio systems and everything work. It's just, all that shit is really, really cool to me.
Yeah, my favorite that I've been thinking about a lot this playthrough and just kind of like reading about and trying to get more information on is the radio computer systems that they use.
Yes.
And like there's a lot of stuff about different radio waves, and that actually like plays a big factor into the story later. They have like a shortwave radio computer system that communicates with an operator, and then that operator connects you to like the main server, which is a whole like D&D related quest about mid game. So yeah, like that stuff is just so cool the way they thought that out. And it makes it seem like it's hard to tell what year it is. Like, you can't really be like, oh, this is like an alternate version of like 1999, because it also feels like the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. Like, there's little pieces of technology overlapping in like a different timeline compared to ours.